One of the most common questions I get as a realtor is, what's a Zestimate and how accurate is it? I'm SandiWarner with the Harbor to Hill Real Estate team. Let's talk Zestimates. What is a Zestimate? If you've ever looked online at your house and looked up your property, you've most likely pulled up a Zillow or a Trulia listing for your property, even if you've never had it on the market. And one of the pieces of information on there is what they call a Zestimate. It's just estimate with a Z in front of it. And that will give you a home value. And sometimes home sellers will try to use that value to understand what their property is worth. So it's helpful to know how Zestimates are made and how accurate they might be. If you go onto Zillow's page, you'll see the definition of a Zestimate. And the way they describe it is it's a starting point to value your home. It's based on what they call a proprietary formula, and it's a combination of public information and private information. So what does that mean? Public information, if you think about it as what your tax assessor has, if you put a new bathroom in your house and you had to get a permit for electrical or a permit for plumbing, an inspector came into your house, that's starting a little bit of a paperwork trail for that project, and that goes into the tax assessor's records, and it starts affecting things like square foot and number of bathrooms. That's what Zillow means by public information. The private information is part of the definition you'll see on Zillow's page is that they encourage the homeowner to add their own information onto the site. So if you're looking at your Zillow estimate and maybe you've never touched it, your Zillow estimate or your Zestimate is based on a comparison with similar properties in your area. So maybe you didn't make any changes to your Zestimate, but your neighbor did. And maybe those changes aren't accurate. How would that scenario look? Well, say for example, you've decided to put your property on the market and you go and look at your Zestimate and you say, oh my gosh, no, that can't be right. I have so much more equity than this. Well, it would be a benefit to you or another homeowner to not so much embellish it, but certainly make all that information as positive as possible, right? And from that point of view, that's what can make a Zestimate less than accurate. Zillow goes on to say that you should use your Zestimate just as your starting point, and that the next step is to have a realtor or an appraiser come into your house. It's kind of an old joke that says, a Zestimate's not an appraisal. If it was an appraisal and it was based on real data, they'd call it a Zappraisal. It's just an estimate. To get a real accurate view of what your property value is, you want to talk to a professional. This is a big transaction in your life. Whether you're doing a refinance or whether you're thinking about selling your property, you need an appraisal. And you can do that either by hiring someone like me, a real estate agent who will compare your property to all of the similar properties in the area, or you can hire an appraiser. If you're doing a refinance, the bank's going to hire an appraiser for you. So a Zestimate in an area where all the homes are very similar, maybe they've all been built recently. If you think around the state where there are new developments, all the homes are very similar. All of those records are really up to date. We're doing it in a more modern time where all record keeping's better. And maybe maybe think about use Reynolds Farm over in North Kingstown, where all of those were built within 3 or 4 years of each other, and all that data is very common. Those estimates are probably going to be really good. But then go into an older town. Maybe think about Apponaug or Newport, where I'm at, or East Greenwich, Westerly, any of the old villages. Those homes were all built 200-300 years ago. That's not good record keeping. So it's all based on what we say it is, if it hasn't been sold recently. And in that case, the Zestimate's not going to be that accurate. So if you want accurate numbers, call a professional. It doesn't cost you anything to call us up and talk to us and ask us. We'll give you our professional broker opinion, which is based on real data, very similar to what an appraiser does. I create a spreadsheet. I look at everything that has sold, preferably within a quarter mile of you, but I'll look further and plot this in a chart and give you a really accurate number so you know what you're looking at. So if you're looking to get a real idea of what the value of your home is, call a professional. It doesn't cost you anything to call and ask us questions. Consultations are always free. We will give you a free home valuation on your property based on similar homes in your neighborhood. We'll come in and look at your home. It won't be based on data from the air. It will be based on what you actually have in your property. Call us at 401-662-7204 and we'll get you some real answers. I'm SandiWarner with the Harbor to Hill Real Estate Team. We're looking forward to talking to you soon.